Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including design updates to the Model S and X, Tesla announcing their next few factories, a new US battery deal, FSD Beta Updates, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, one of the most interesting parts about Tesla is how they make cars with their own proprietary connector in North America, but ship them with CCS in other markets. Their own connector is smaller and arguably much better than any other EV connector on the market, but it's proprietary, which means that Teslas need adapters to work with any other chargers. If only CCS is available, you are unable to charge your Tesla with that proprietary connector. Overall, Tesla's supercharger network has most people covered, but for other charging networks, some of which only use CCS, like Electrify America, you can't use them. Some Tesla connectors have been added to these stations, but overall you can't charge at many third-party fast chargers, which limits options on trips. Tesla announced a CCS adapter in late 2020 saying, quote, "In the first half of 2021, Tesla Korea will officially launch the CCS1 charging adapter. For some reason though, that adapter only came to Korea and hasn't been seen in North America. Some owners have actually purchased and imported the CCS adapter to North America in order to make use of it since it functions, but Tesla has yet to sell it here. Now an owner with this adapter was spotted using an EVgo charger to charge their Model Y. The max rate seen with this adapter was 205 kilowatts, which is very fast in general, but especially for this adapter, which was supposedly rated at 150 kilowatts. It went down to 104 kilowatts once it reached a 50% state of charge. The fact that it's working so well just proves that it works, and Tesla should sell this adapter. Many owners would love to greatly expand charging options, even though Tesla superchargers remain the best option. Next up today, Tesla is finally adding a feature into the Model S and X that was promised from the beginning of the refresh, all the way back in January of 2021. Originally, when Tesla launched the refreshed Model S and X on their website, it said that the screen had, quote, ultra bright true colors, exceptional responsiveness, and left-right tilt. By the time the car actually launched in June, there was no mention of the screen tilting, which was disappointing to see. Overall, the screen functions well, fixed in the middle, but many noticed that the Model S and X actually ship with the hardware to tilt the screen, but it's just missing the motor. There was no word other than rumors of Tesla possibly adding the screen tilt via software later on, but clearly those cars were missing a piece of the hardware to make this fully functional. Now it appears that Tesla is officially adding this feature. At Tesla Frunk posted a video of their Model S. It features their third-party powered front trunk, as well as the Tesla factory screen swivel that can go left, right, or center depending on which you tap on screen. That option is added and the screen actually comes out a bit as it tilts. For some, this will be helpful to tilt the screen towards the driver, and for others, it will be helpful for the passenger to access the screen if they want to use certain features while the driver drives and watches the instrument cluster display. A follow-up video showed what it looks like from the side. Over in Taiwan as well, a Model S was spotted on display at the Tesla store sporting this updated screen. It is clearly tilted toward the driver here, and this is expected to come to the Model X at the same time as well. Reportedly, this change was made as of late April, and in classic Tesla fashion, it's unclear exactly when deliveries are guaranteed to include this feature. Ryan McCaffrey tweeted on April 29th saying, quote, "Just got rock-solid confirmation from a Tesla source that the latest Model S and Model X cars built have the long-awaited center screen tilting functionality, or at least the hardware to do so. Presumably, an upcoming software update will enable it in the UI." So it looks like production is fully there for this feature on both cars, and the software comes installed from the factory. Lastly, another demo was posted on YouTube of a 2022 Plaid sporting the tilting display. Seeing it in practice, it actually looks pretty good and works very well. It makes the screen feel that much more premium in the car, but I'm not entirely sure just how useful it really will be in practice. Tilting the screen towards the driver could make certain things a bit easier to touch, but I'll have to see it on a new Model S and try it out. It's good to see this feature finally arrive in the Model S, but as happens with many Tesla features, I wish they had added it from the start as originally planned. Next up today, some very big news for Tesla and their factories. Right now, Tesla is delivering cars at scale from two main factories. First is their Fremont factory, and then their Shanghai factory, which they have turned into their export hub. Shanghai production has exceeded Fremont production already, and Tesla is just beginning deliveries out of Giga Texas and Giga Berlin. Texas and Berlin are focused on the Model Y for now, and will be ramping up this year, but over in Shanghai, rumors have been that Tesla may add another factory. They've had success there, and have been able to open back up very quickly after shutting down last month, so another factory there could ramp up fairly quickly. Reuters in February said that, quote, Tesla Inc. plans to start work on a new plant in Shanghai as soon as next month, as part of a plan to more than double production capacity in China to meet growing demand for its cars in the country and export markets. Now, according to a letter obtained by Reuters, this has been confirmed. The letter thanks local authorities for their help in transporting workers to help open Giga Shanghai. They also helped with Tesla's closed-loop system, but according to the letter as well, quote, the company will build a new plant on nearby land in the same area, which is poised to add an annual capacity of 450,000 cars, including Model 3s and Model Ys, becoming, quote, the world's largest vehicle export hub. Throughout 2021, Tesla delivered 484,100 vehicles from their Shanghai factory, making the Model 3 and Y. As of right now, there are no timelines for this expansion, but Tesla already has plans to expand their existing production capacity at Giga Shanghai, so a second plant right next to the existing one could allow them to exceed 1 million cars per year in Shanghai. These would go to local markets as well as anywhere else exporting makes sense. It's not completely surprising given Tesla's massive success with their Shanghai factory in such little time, but it's definitely big news for them. With this expansion, they'd have a double-sized factory or 2 separate factories in Shanghai, and their other 3 factories making cars across the globe, but that's not all. Another new report is saying that Tesla has acquired a piece of land adjacent to their new Gigafactory Berlin. Giga Berlin currently sits on a 300-acre plot that Tesla acquired for that factory, and now they've acquired another 100 acres next to that factory. Quote, the Tesla company is planning to massively expand its property in Grünheide. The RBB learned this from official circles. Accordingly, the company intends to purchase approximately 100 hectares of land located directly east of the Tesla site between the RE1 railway line and the L23 and L38 state roads. The report from German media goes on to say that, quote, Tesla had already announced in 2020 that it would have as many supplier products as possible delivered to the Grünheide plant by train. Completed Teslas are also to be transported away by rail. The group is now planning additional storage areas and a freight station for this purpose. This suggests that Tesla plans to keep the rest of its property free for future car factory expansions. As with both of these plans, they don't appear to be finalized yet, but the Berlin factory piece could be around $13.7 million for Tesla, and construction would start next summer. Those are from larger sources, but another rumor is going out as well that Tesla plans to expand Giga Texas further. That would be along the same lines as their Shanghai plans to build an entire second factory adjacent to Giga Texas. This allows them to further utilize the area that they've already set up, worked through regulatory approvals for, and more. It's pretty crazy to see this expansion from Tesla because the speed that they're planning to move on producing EVs is far faster than any other brand. Throughout this year, we should see announcements for these new construction projects, and I'd guess we'll hear about Giga Texas last, but we'll see. A lot of this information could come up at their next earnings call, or it could be unveiled at Tesla's 2022 shareholder meeting, which just got confirmed for August 4th in Austin, Texas. One particularly big proposal that shareholders are expected to vote on at that meeting is a stock split, of which ratios have yet to be determined. The last stock split Tesla performed occurred in August of 2020 and was a 5-to-1 split. Tesla said at the time that this split would make, quote, stock ownership more accessible to employees and investors. There have been rumors from multiple sources that Tesla is planning to split Tesla stock 20-to-1, so that is very well possible, but the details are definitely not finalized and won't truly be known until we approach the shareholder meeting. Next up today, the U.S. Department of Energy has announced a $3 billion program going toward battery manufacturing and supply chain to support EVs. This is coming from the infrastructure bill last year that included $7.5 billion for EV transit vehicles and $7.5 billion for EV charging infrastructure. The announcement says, quote, the U.S. Department of Energy today announced $3.1 billion in funding from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law to make more batteries and components in America, bolster domestic supply chains, create good-paying jobs, and help lower costs for families. The infrastructure investments will support the creation of new retrofitted and expanded commercial facilities, as well as manufacturing demonstrations and battery recycling. DOE is also announcing a separate $60 million to support Second Life applications for batteries once used to power EVs, as well as new processes for recycling materials back into the battery supply chain. The U.S. Secretary of Energy further said, quote, positioning the United States front and center in meeting the growing demand for advanced batteries is how we boost our competitiveness and electrify our transportation system. A few things they have been focused on lately include more nickel, lithium, graphite, and cobalt mining in the U.S. in order to build a domestic battery supply chain. Overall, this sounds like a great move for the future of electric vehicles. The supply chain is the biggest factor going forward and a big reason that Tesla has such an advantage into the future. They've been working on getting the supply for these batteries for a long time and very much understand how crucial it is for the future of making electric vehicles at scale. There are lots of great electric vehicles coming out, but getting them produced at scale is the tough part. The US looks to be trying to support this and bring much of the supply chain inside the US. As far as how much this will impact Tesla, it's unclear. It's great to see this investment into EVs in general, but it will likely be a while before we see any effects from this $3 billion program. Hopefully it can mean better and cheaper access to raw materials and batteries within the United States for any brand making electric vehicles. Next up today, a few updates about Tesla's FSD Beta. I tend not to talk too much about the full self-driving beta since progress on it tends to be slow, especially relative to the timelines Elon Musk gives. In any case, when Elon Musk was interviewed for TED, he unveiled that Tesla has kept adding more people to the FSD Beta program. They now have more than 100,000 people in the FSD Beta program. Elon said, quote, "The car currently drives me around Austin most of the time with no interventions, and we have over 100,000 people in our full self-driving beta program." Elon recently tweeted about the FSD Beta on April 24th, saying that, quote, "Next beta release has many improvements, especially for complex left turns and heavy traffic." Now, many have noted that the FSD Beta works incredibly well in certain areas where it has had a lot of time to learn, like the Bay Area, and Elon commented on this as well, saying, quote, "FSD is best in Bay Area, given engineering mostly lives there." Soon is a pretty broad term, and while Elon has once again reiterated that he thinks this is the year that FSD will be safer than a human, his timelines have been a little less aggressive publicly for FSD. He spoke at length in a recent TED interview about why FSD has taken so long, talking about how they have reached many local maximums. Things were going well and FSD was improving, and then they find a significant roadblock that means they have to completely rethink the foundation of the system. This time around, they feel that they are on the right track, but he was honest that each time they have had an issue, it was after they felt like they were on the right track. This is something that has been known for quite some time and Elon has spoke a little bit about, but he's being much more clear now that solving real-world AI is the solution for FSD. He feels that this is the only way to truly solve autonomy, and it's why their Optimus project is becoming more and more on the front of his mind. FSD is no longer the end vision, but a big and game-changing step on the way to real-world AI. For Elon Musk, that will change everything with Optimus. On that path, though, it seems that Tesla is reframing their ideas of transportation long-term. Maybe this will change because Tesla still ships tons of cars that they aren't hyping up like the Cybertruck, but their $25,000 EV announced at Battery Day may be entirely different. In January of this year, Elon said that they won't be releasing new models this year and that, quote, "We're not currently working on the $25,000 car. At some point, we will." That could still come and just be on the back burner, but it seems that Elon sees an entire replacement of this car with a dedicated Robotaxi vehicle that they are working on. At the Cyber Rodeo, Elon Musk said that Tesla is working on a dedicated Robotaxi and further said on their Q1 earnings call that, quote, "It's fundamentally optimized for trying to achieve the lowest fully considered cost per mile, cost per kilometer, accounting everything. I think that really will be a massive driver of Tesla's growth." This would be a new vehicle without pedals, and ultimately, as Elon is getting at, it would be the cheapest way to get around anywhere. He even said it would be cheaper than a bus ticket. In my view, Elon sees this replacing the $25,000 EV, but long-term that requires them achieving true FSD and real-world AI, so getting volume production like he aims for in 2024 may be delayed or replaced by a cheaper Tesla. I still think it will be some time before Tesla truly achieves FSD to the point where they can make a vehicle without wheels or pedals, but time will tell. Right now, they're continuing to refine FSD with small updates and the addition of more beta testers regularly. Next up today, some updates about other EVs. Ford has begun first deliveries of the F-150 Lightning. Specs have been unveiled, and they included more payload capacity and horsepower than previously announced. The standard range battery F-150 Lightning will include 452 horsepower and a payload capacity of 2,235 pounds. The extended range battery has that same payload capacity with 580 horsepower. Ford's vehicle engineering manager said, quote, "We were seriously focused on raising the bar on this truck, including after we revealed it, so we can deliver more for our customers. And our drive for continuous improvement will get a big boost when we start getting feedback and ideas from customers when they receive their Lightnings." That's exciting to see, and at the same time, Rivian just announced that they secured the incentive package worth up to $1.5 billion for their upcoming factory in Georgia. The announcement said that, quote, "The economic development agreement has been signed by the JDA, the state of Georgia, and Rivian to move forward on the company's $5 billion Georgia project, which will create 7,500 jobs with an average wage of $56,000 at Stanton Springs North. For GM, with the recalled Chevy Bolt, they have reported that 50% of them have now been fixed. That's about 26,925 Chevy Bolts that have now been fixed out of the 57,414 recalled last year. Great to see those on the way to being fixed and the Chevy Bolt back in production. Last up today, Tesla released a fun little video of the Cybertruck in use at Giga Texas delivering ice cream sandwiches to employees working there. What's funny about this video is that it's actually the old original Cybertruck prototype with handles, so it has changed quite a bit since. Either way, it's great to see the Cybertruck in use, and it seems to fit in pretty well in a construction area. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my full review of the Model Y after 2 years, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.